All right, it's that time of month again. We are going to look at the numbers. We're going to see what the market is doing and where it's going. We're even going to look at national numbers. I know we typically don't do that, but we're going to do it today. Before we get started, I want you to know I get most of my information from CoreLogic. They're the golden standard, and there's a reason why everybody looks at them and takes them really seriously. For the last 20 years, they've been doing predictions on what the market's going to do, and then they compare their prediction to what actually happens, and they're almost always right on. That being said, CoreLogic, they made an announcement earlier this year that homes in 2023 are going to appreciate by 3.2%. They just revised that to 3.9%. And I think they're doing this because they anticipate the interest rates to come back down to 5% or in the neighborhood of, and the demand, of course, from the buyers is going to come back. And then, of course, the home appreciation, it's going up. So all that put together, I think North Idaho is actually going to sit better than 3.9%. We are a destination. People want to be here. They like our lifestyle. They like having the mountains and the lakes, and they like the politics. And it's just a different way of living, and people want that right now. So because of that, it's going to increase our demand, which is going to help appreciation with the house prices. Talking about the interest rates, 5% is going to be, I think, key. When earlier this year we were in the 3 and 4% and we went up to 6%, that slowed down the market. There's no doubt about it. But once we went below 6%, we saw another frenzy. And no, it wasn't COVID frenzy, but it was still a frenzy. People were buying, they were excited, they were making offers, houses were moving. It was great. But then what happened? Interest rates went into the 7% and everything slowed down, and it's still relatively slow. Houses are still selling as long as you're priced appropriately. So anyways, they say 60 is the new 40. I think 5 is going to be the new 3% interest rate. I think 5% is going to be that key number. We're not going to go sub 4% anytime soon. I don't think, at least. So that 5% is going to be that new 3% going forward. So there's going to be 3 things that's going to force the Fed's hand that's going to help the housing market. First is going to be negative employment data. Getting inflation back on track, so we're at 2%. I think that's going to be their goal. And just maybe simply breaking something in the financial market. I think all 3 things are kind of working that way, and I don't know who's going to get to the finish line first, but one of those 3 things is going to happen, and it's a lot sooner than later, and that's going to change the trajectory of where the housing market is going. I think we're going to be in Q2 of next year where we're going to see things start to take off again for a few reasons. I think that's when interest rates are going to be at that 5% neighborhood again. That's also the start of our selling season where people put a bunch of houses on the market. School is wrapping up and they want to get into the next house, and it's just a natural takeoff point. So I think Q2 is going to be taking off again. Okay, all that being said, let's go ahead and let's start diving into our numbers. I got to switch the screen. All right, there we are. So again, we're looking at month-to-month data. We have the blue is going to be the entire MLS, red is Boundary County, green is Bonner, and orange is going to be Kootenai County. So right now, here's our current average sell prices of homes. You can see the data right there. Overall, you see these percentages over here. This is year-to-year increases. So Boundary County has gone up 36%. Holy cow. Entire MLS is at 3.7%. So right now we have the entire MLS. The average sell price is $670. Let's look at October of last year at $647. So, we're still higher than this time last year, guys. And look at these numbers are not dropping like a weight in water. I keep hearing this. The bottom's going to fall out. Look at the data, guys. It is not falling out. Another reason why it's not going to fall out. Do you know that 41% of all houses in America, they don't have a mortgage? That means that they are owned outright. And then you know how much equity people still have? Look at this data. It's still going up, even with what's going on. It's still going up. If you get behind on a bill because of inflation, you're going to go get a HELOC and you're going to pay your bills. There's so much equity in the remaining 59% of those houses. The bottom is not falling out. Okay, let's look at the data. One of my favorite graphs here is percentage of listing price. So here you can kind of see in the peak, we're going over asking price. Right now, the entire MLS, we are 3.5% below the listing price. Overall, these numbers aren't terrible looking. Not too long ago in the springtime, we were right at asking price, and now we're about 3.5% below. So overall, this time last year, we're down 2%. It looks like on average, and that's kind of what I'm seeing out there. If we're seeing a little bit of offers getting accepted below the list price. Let's look at month supply. I really like this one. So overall, the entire MLS is in a neutral market. Boundary County, holy cow, it's 7. That means they are in a buyer's market up there. You guys should know, you've been watching enough of these. 0 to 3 months of inventory is a seller's market. 3 to 6, neutral. Anything above 6 is buyer. So overall, I'm gonna call it. We're in a neutral market. So buyers, you don't have as much power as you think, and sellers, you certainly don't have as much power as you think. Let's move on to, where am I looking? Homes for sale. So right now, the entire MLS, there's 1,300 homes for sale. Let's look at October last year. We have almost double. Okay, so that's interesting. Now let's look at closed houses. We closed in October 343 total houses. Let's look October of last year, 569. Let's look at one more graph. So we're not selling as many houses. That makes sense because our homes for sale is doubled. Our new listings this month, entire MLS, 459, October last year. Wow, almost the same. So you know what this tells me? There's the same amount of sellers listing their houses. Or actually, I think that number is going to be down a little bit, but they're just not selling. We saw that homes for sale. Where is that? Closed sales. Here we go. They're just not selling every month as much, so that's going to make it appear like there's a ton more listings out there. That's not the case. They're just not selling nearly as quickly. But I anticipate this to change in Q2 of 23. All right, I think that's about it. Let me switch my screen back over. So what am I seeing out there? I just kind of said it all, so I'm not going to recap it for you, but let me tell you this. Buyers, have your agent look at the comps, have them put together a really good offer. If the seller's going to be unreasonable, then you just need to walk away. Walk away. And what I'm seeing with my own clients, the seller's coming back to them a week, 2 weeks later and saying, you know what? All right, let's do a deal. And they're getting the deal put together. That's happening with my business partners. So just stand your ground, have your realtor write you up a really good, reasonable offer. Sellers, you have to understand, we are not a year ago. We're not even 8 months ago. The prices are coming down. You do not hold all the power. You need to be more reasonable. You just saw this data. Just know what's going on. Be educated. That's all. So anyways, I think the forecast is going to look great. If you want to sell, I think now is going to be a great time because right now the market's still going to go down. But Ben, you said housing is going to appreciate. Yes, but the prices need to come down. If you look at the appreciation number when you sell, even with the number not being as high, that just means we have a better price. We're being more reasonable in this market where the price is. But then if you look at the appreciation, it's still going up. You just need to get realistic with your price. And you're going to get more money now because a buyer is going to be more willing to pay that number right now. So buyers, now that you're listening to me on this, now is still a fine time to buy because I just sent you a video about this. If you try and time the market, if the house you want's available now, buy it. It may not be available come spring, come Q2, and when quarter two comes, and if it does what I think, what core logic thinks is going to happen, you're going to have competition. And now the house that you want may not be available. And if it is, you might have to be competing with everybody else because everyone's going to be like, woo, 5%. That's fine. Go ahead and lock in at 7% now and refinance in quarter two. That's my suggestion. That's what I would do if the house you want is available now. Do not try and time this market, otherwise you're going to regret it. I can almost guarantee that. I don't guarantee anything, but that's a pretty safe bet. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This is long enough. Give me a call if you guys want to talk about any of this. Thanks.